In performing my constitutional duties, I will neither look at this side nor at this side. I will look only to the Constitution.
Enunciating the supremacy of Constitution.
I will have no difficulty of time to run the House even up to midnight. We have to reflect expression of the people, indicating their aspirations.
Articulating the aspirations of 135 crore Indians.
This House is a very august House. Everything is spoken here carries great weight.
Ensuring Rajya Sabha stands the test of time as a legislative, deliberative and oversight body.
In democratic governance, basic of any basic structure is the prevalence of the primacy of the mandate of the people reflected in the parliament.
Strengthening the roots of democracy.
If there is an occasion to invoke 267 every day, I would not hesitate to invoke it. And if there is no occasion to invoke it even once during my entire tenure, I would not.
Establishing the primacy of roots.
It is our ardent duty to set example before our countrymen.
Leading the nation by example. Hello and a very warm welcome viewers. You're watching the special presentation of Sansad TV. The 258th session will go down in the annals of Rajya Sabha's history as the first session of India's 14th Vice President and Chairman of Rajya Sabha, Jagdeep Dhankhar. High productivity, meaningful dialogue, intense deliberation, eloquence, erudition, wit, humour were all the hallmarks of the session under the chairmanship of Vice President of India, Jagdeep Dhankhar. In our edition today, we've packed all the unmissable moments. So get ready for the speed ride.
मैं जगदीप धनखड़ ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि
मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा तथा जिस पद को मैं ग्रहण करने वाला हूं उसके कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धापूर्वक निर्वहन करूंगा।
The election of Kisan Putra, Jagdeep Dhankhar, to the second highest office is testimony to the vibrancy and strength of Indian democracy. Vice President personifies the phrase, from humble beginnings to the pinnacle of success. He has been in public life for nearly 3 decades. Legal doyen, philanthropist, writer, orator, and politician, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar has donned many hats and acquitted himself in all of them with aplomb, a very rare quality. December 7th, 9:30 a.m. Vice President and Chairman of Rajya Sabha, Jagdeep Dhankhar, embarked on a new journey to officiate as the Chairman of India's highest legislative chamber, the Rajya Sabha. before taking over as the guardian of the prestige and dignity of the upper house of Parliament. The new chairman paid tributes to the father of the nation and chief architect of the Indian Constitution, while pledging to uphold the constitutional ideals.
बहुत आदमी स्वागत, बहुत गर्मजोशी से सर आपका स्वागत है सर।
The first day of the winter session of Parliament 2022 saw the new chairman being warmly welcomed to the House with lavish praises, optimism and exuberance.
किसान के पुत्र और सैनिक स्कूल के विद्यार्थी के रूप में मैं देखता हूं कि आप में किसान और जवान दोनों समाहित हैं।
ऊर्जावान व्यक्तित्व, सदस्यों से जिस प्रकार से आपने निजी जुड़ाव बनाया है, आपका सहज मुस्कान, आपके सोचने की प्रक्रिया और क्विक विट और ह्यूमर हम सबको आपके प्रति आकर्षित करता है।
अपर हाउस के संरक्षक के रूप में आपकी भूमिका बाकी भूमिकाओं से बहुत बड़ी है।
Honorable Leader of the House, Shri Piyush Goyal ji, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Shri Mallikarjun Kharge ji, Honorable former Prime Minister, Shri S.D. Devgowda ji, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Leaders of respective parties, Honorable Members.
The Vice President's maiden speech captivated the attention of parliamentarians and the citizens alike. The supremacy of Constitution, importance of the will of the people, the doctrine of separation of powers and India's growth trajectory all found due emphasis in equal measure.
Grateful to the Honorable Members of Parliament for affording opportunity to be in service of Bharat as Vice President of India and Chairman of this august House. Looking forward to contributing to growth trajectory of the largest vibrant democracy in the world and vindicate its trust and confidence.
Of the people, for the people and by the people. The Indian Constitution, the longest and most detailed of any sovereign nation in the world, provides a comprehensive framework to guide and govern the country. Chairman Dhankhar emphatically made it clear to the upper house that as the foot soldier of the Indian Constitution, he will ensure that the rule of constitutional law prevails, above all, without getting swayed by the opposition or the treasury benches.
Power of the Parliament of the day.
The makers of our constitution established Rajya Sabha as the second chamber of our parliament with a distinct role in our parliamentary system. The upper house was meant to take a closer look at the legislation passed by the other house and prevent hasty legislation and not to prove a clog either to legislation or administration. Chairman Dhankhar asserted that members of the Rajya Sabha are expected to be more experienced and learned and less influenced by the ebb and flow of popular opinion. To the House of Elders, he underscored the need for dignified and quality debates on issues of public importance without disruptions. He made it absolutely clear that disruptions hinder the country's growth, belittle the aspirations of 135 crore Indians, and cause immeasurable loss to the public exchequer.
Honorable members, Honorable members, I painfully report to you that loss of more than 100 minutes of disruption on 13th, 15th and 16th of December has sent not a good signal. Crores of public exchequer that were meant to be utilized, time that was supposed to be used for public purpose, issues that were required to be discussed could not be discussed. This august house is a unique platform. We must share vision, passion, mission of framers of the Constitution. It is time for us to be inspired and motivated by them so that we set very high standards of emulation. Generating optics of disruption brings a very bad name to us.
Since you raised a specific question about the 267,
I am grateful to the honorable member.
Sparingly used for the last 20 years, Rule 267 of Rajya Sabha has very often led to disruptions in the past. It found a new meaning with Chairman Dhankhar's ruling on December 8, 2022. The chairman assured the members that he will not hesitate to suspend the scheduled business of the House under Rule 267, even on a daily basis if the notices qualify on merit. In the same breath, the chairman, however, asserted that if the notices are devoid of merit and rules, he would not invoke the rule even once during his entire tenure. It is important to note here that chairman's rulings cannot be questioned or criticized, and to protest against the chairman's ruling is contempt of the House.
While inviting my attention to act in a particular manner as you deem expedient under Rule 267, please engage into full compliance with respect to the first part and also give exhaustively according to your own perception that there is no other rule where the issue can be raised by seeking separate suspension. Having examined the matter, I convey my decision. We need to put them in order. Honorable members,
False acquisitions, mendacious statements and callous barbs all equally undermine the sanctity and the prestige of the upper house of Indian Parliament. As the custodian and guardian of the rights and privileges of the House and its members, Chairman Dhankhar categorically laid down that any allegation made on the floor of the House will have to be substantiated with authentic documents. He was equally unequivocal in stating that unauthenticated charges will have severe consequences. Further, the chairman called a meeting with the leaders of various political parties on the issue.
doesn't matter, take your seat. Please, in this House, we cannot allow any member to give out facts that are not substantiated, and that constitutes a very serious breach of privilege. I am very particular about it, whether it is this side or this side. Anything being spoken in this House cannot be in figure. It has to be indicated with precision, with sanctity, and with ownership. And that is why, to a very distinguished member, where it was not required, I wanted that practice to be there, that if a Chief Minister of a state has sent a communication to the Honorable Prime Minister and details are not made available, that should be on record. That will be shared with the members. So the Honorable member can make his input. But while making the input, it has not to be a speech. The Honorable member must focus on actual figures, and I will call upon the Honorable member to put the relevant record on the table of the House. If the record is not there, I may seek guidance from the Honorable members. That will be breach of privilege of this House. This House has to be a platform of putting across everything that concerns the public at large. Any expression cannot be controlled here. The only controlling factor is we have to believe in sanctity of the document. a newspaper report, an opinion given by someone is absolutely of no consequence. What I need is legally admissible documentation must be the premise of making an allegation.
Ensuring transparency of the procedures in raising issues of public importance, Chairman Dhankar also unveiled a transformative step, starting a ballot of notices of matters of urgent public importance during 0 hour. 15 notices were selected through the ballot. However, 4 to 5 notices over and above these 15 matters were allowed to be raised on the basis of their importance at the discretion of the chairman.
EPFO pension scheme. EPFO is still globally the largest social security organization.
I also talked to Honorable Minister in regard to this industry and this position.
The Indian Farmers Fertilizers Cooperative Limited, also known as IFCO, is the world's largest fertilizers cooperative federation based in India.
Chairman Dhankar asserted that question hour is one of the most important tools for enforcing accountability of the government. He added that pointed replies and supplementaries will enhance the importance of question hour.
During the last 8.5 years.
Our question hour is very important. Question hour gives an opportunity to enforce accountability. And it is most productive where more questions are traversed. And that happens when there is pointed response and pointed supplementaries. I'm sure we'll bear that in mind.
Accountability, transparency, participation and inclusion are the vital embodiments of democratic government. Chairman Dhankar allowed special mentions, a very important parliamentary tool to fix accountability of the government. The minister concerned with the subject matter is required to respond in writing by intimating the member within 30 days of the factual position or the action taken or proposed to be taken.
Ramnath Thakur.
देश में अन्य पिछड़े वर्ग की आबादी 54% से अधिक है, लेकिन इन्हें सरकारी सेवाओं में 1993 से लेकर 27% के स्थान पर मात्र 20% ही आरक्षण मिल पाया है.
For the academic year 2020-2022, the average fee in old IIMs is rupees 20.7 lakhs.
The chairman also allowed members to seek clarifications from the government on pressing issues, while maintaining that any question or clarification of the member must not hurt India's interests. Taking another key initiative, Chairman Dhankar expanded the pool of vice chairpersons to foster fraternity. Chairman Dhankar firmly believes in the empowerment of women and their full participation on the basis of equality in all spheres of society, including decision-making process and parliamentary democracy. Accordingly, for the first time, a nominated female member found a place in the panel of vice chairpersons.
This is first time a nominated member of the House has been entrusted with this responsibility. Honorable members,
while Chairman Dhankar walked the extra mile to uphold the rights of the members, he did not shy away from calling out Congress leader Sonia Gandhi's remarks. Speaking vociferously in the upper house, the chairman said that Congress leader's statement is far distanced from his reflections. He asserted that delegitimizing the judiciary is beyond his contemplation. The chairman further asked leaders across political spectrum not to subject high constitutional officers to partisan stances.
honorable members, my attention has been drawn to a statement imparted by the Honorable Chairperson of the UPA on December 21, 2022, mentioning, I quote, "A troubling new development is the calculated attempt underway to delegitimize the judiciary. Ministers and even a high constitutional authority have been enlisted to making speeches attacking the judiciary on various grounds, unquote. The observations are severely inappropriate, indicating lack of faith in democracy, making this exceptional response unavoidable. The statement imparted by the Honorable Chairperson of the UPA is far distanced from my reflections. Delegitimizing the judiciary is beyond my contemplation. It is pillar of democracy. I would urge and expect leaders across the political spectrum to bear in mind not to subject high constitutional offices to partisan stances.
As the 258th session neared closure, the world was alarmed by the probable resurgence of the enemy of humankind, the coronavirus. The chairman was quick to show the way to the country. He also applauded India's efforts in combating COVID-19 during previous waves. He said the world has taken note of India's efforts. The chairman also said that COVID is non-partisan and favors none, and exhorted everyone to fight the enemy together.
India had overcome the challenges of COVID in the past due to coordinated efforts of administration, doctors, healthcare professionals, and sanitation workers. We had administered over 2 billion doses of free COVID vaccine in record time. This is unparalleled in the world. Not only that, we have digitally recorded and issued certificates to all those vaccinated. Again, another unparalleled example in the world for its scale, size, and speed. Honorable members, currently situation of COVID is getting alarming. We need to be vigilant and take all precautionary steps, including wearing masks, use of sanitizers, and social distancing. I urge all of you, wear masks inside the house as well. Yes. And I know,
as they say, a day without laughter is a day wasted. Good humor is tonic for the mind and body, amply displayed in the witty comments of the chairman.
With the consensus of all the opposition members, we shall not interrupt him today. He was worried, he was concerned. And he said, who has conspired not to interrupt me? Well, one of the ablest bowlers is satisfied with the batsman.
Scenes of bonhomie also dominated the banquet organized in the parliament premises to commemorate the Year of Millets. Leaders of various parties in both houses, led by the chairman, prime minister and speaker, were treated to a delicious lunch that featured a curated millets-based buffet featuring a variety of dishes made from Indian Nutri cereals. If the maiden speech was transformational, the valedictory address spelled out the hope for the future, enshrining the faith of 1.3 billion citizens. The 258th session of Rajya Sabha recorded a productivity of 103%.
258th session of the Council of States, first one as the chairman, has been of learning and enriching experience. There were also jolts, hiccups, and aberrations. Interaction in my chamber during this time frame with over 130 Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha members was indeed rewarding gain, generating lasting connect. Nation justifiably expects the House of Elders to take decisive, directional lead in reaffirming and enhancing the core values of the Republic and setting up the traditions of parliamentary democracy, exemplify the highest deliberative, emulative standards.
The session came to a close with a national song.
House stands adjourned sine die.
The fruitful winter session of Parliament was the result of Chairman's meticulous outreach that began months before the session commenced. It was a trend that continued through the session, with the Chairman holding parleys with all sides. Impactful beginnings, productive session, an amiable environment. The 258th session provided to be a true trailblazer. As a House of Elders, the Rajya Sabha has to provide, lead, and set the highest standards for other democratic bodies to emulate. On that important note of Chairman Dhankar, it's a wrap from my side. Thanks for watching and stay tuned to Sansad TV. Namaskar.